Brodes Media.
The Phillies split their first two games in Miami, but that is the farthest thing from the big story. Rob Thomson shows a pulse. Rob Thomson makes a crucial decision, and he ends up benching Nick Castellanos to break his streak of being in the lineup every day. Wow. What does this mean? How does this impact the clubhouse? Who's at fault? So many questions. And I think the answer to who's at fault is very obvious. It's Nick. If this goes off the rails, you can't be mad at Topper. If Nick Castellanos on Monday night, after getting yanked due to defensive purposes, if he said something inappropriate where Rob, Mr. I'm going down with my guys, Mr. I'm giving you a long leash, Mr. I'm allowing you to be you and show your emotion and be a personality and letting you, kind of police yourself, that type of attitude, if he deems it unacceptable, where he doesn't care and he's willing to sit in his office and publicly tell the media, yeah, there's no BS here. His ass is not in the lineup due to some things he did and he said that were disrespectful. If it was that bad, I don't blame Topper for sending a message. I blame Nick for forcing Rob to have to send a message. What's more important, Nick? Your ego? Your want-to? Meaning your want to play? Or doing what's best for the team? You got guys out there like Marsh and Rojas who every day flip-flopping in and out of the lineup. You got guys in left field, Otto Kemp bouncing around, and I get it. Otto Kemp isn't Nick. Marsh isn't Nick. Rojas isn't Nick. But the point is, if you're going to play consistently and you're in the lineup every day penciled in since 2023, if your squad is looking for a win, and God forbid for an inning or two, Rob Thomson decides to put a good defender in right field to help you get a W, swallow your damn pride, man. What's more important, the team or an inning against Miami? Against the Marlins, dude. And what probably happened is Nick realized, well, it starts in Miami. What follows? Because if you're willing to do it in Miami, you'd be willing to do it at home against the New York Mets. You'd be willing to do it against Houston. And yeah, okay. So, do you want to win? Or are you just worried about your individual statistics? And it goes back to something I said previously about this team. While they definitely got into a better groove and they picked it up since the nightmare against Pittsburgh, and when they were in Toronto prior to this home series against Toronto, they look like a bunch of guys who are wearing a Phillies uniform, but not playing as a team. There's a big difference. And Nick deciding to go after Topper in this way, when the decision, by the way, it's for the better of the team. Like, there's nobody in their right mind who watches Nick play right field right now and thinks, oh, it's a terrible idea to want to put better outfield play in the back end of a game. Right? Does anybody think that? Does anybody think Rob Thomson miscalculated the idea of getting better defense in a baseball game by going to the bench and removing Nick? Baseball-wise. No. So it's not egregious. It's not dumb. It's not stupid. It's not some irrational thought. It's a managerial move to give the team a higher probability to exit that baseball game with the W in the column. You have to accept that, veteran player or not. That's cute that you want to play every day. You want to play 162. Okay, and we're willing to give you a lot of freedom and a lot of rope, knowing that you take pride in that. But that doesn't mean you just get what you want every single second of every day. You're not that good. What, does Nick Castellanos think he's Shohei Ohtani? Does he think he's Babe Ruth? He's Nick Castellanos. He's a guy that I don't even want to go back and redo the contract. He's a guy that I prefer not having for that money. He hasn't lived up to the standard that he gave us after that final year in Cincinnati. Not even close. From Rob's perspective, I love what he did. The narrative around Rob forever has been he allows the players to run the asylum. He gives these veterans way too much of an opportunity to do whatever they want. And clearly he felt it crossed the line. And I'm sure his line is, it's hard. It's hard to cross his line. I've never seen anybody do it in forever with Topper. Actually, ever. I've never seen it. So we clearly went way too extreme. What is Topper supposed to do? And the fact that people are siding with Nick to rip Topper blows my mind, because those same people hate when Topper has that look in his face of sleepy Rob. Rob Zombie. I'm not going to do anything, Topper. You're always demanding him to show urgency, to show care, to show fight. And he does it. And now all of a sudden he was wrong to do it? Nah. And they're trying to spin at that. Well, if you set the standard and the expectation that you could do X, Y, and Z, you don't then get intense the moment someone does X, Y, and Z. Trust me. This wasn't the moment. I'm wondering if there were some things that happened prior that were kept behind the closed doors. And there's a reason why this elevated the way that it did. Because again, Rob Thomson just sat down and said, yeah, guess what? He said inappropriate stuff. Did it have to be that open and honest? Now, in a way, if there's no injury, you're not going to break that streak for a day off, for a rest day. Especially knowing that Nick isn't afraid to say how he feels. So maybe if Rob did decide to try and play it publicly a certain way, to wiggle around it, if Nick ever had the chance to have a microphone in his face, he'd say, yeah, that's bullshit. I'll tell you what happened. I said something Topper didn't like, and he told me I'm not in the lineup. And then it creates more of a mess. So here's the truth. My truth. My description of it. Rob handled it right. Rob was even right to take Nick out of the game Monday. I got no issues with anything from the Rob angle. Even with the whole, he should have kept it in-house. There's always fights internally within sports. And majority of the time, you don't hear a word. You don't hear a peep. You don't hear anything. Yeah, but I believe that it's okay for the message to be sent that this is what's going on. You should be a bit uncomfortable. I think this team has been too comfortable. I need to see the feathers get ruffled. I need to see that. Because I think, as a group, this team has been able to nonchalantly just do whatever they want because it's a veteran-filled clubhouse. And they got away with some things that I don't love. And now that there's a foot being put down, And now someone like Nick, who is very well respected by the manager, gets uncomfortable. It raises eyebrows. It has others talking. It has a little bit of, boom, stop, Marsh, Trey, JT, Wheels going, whoa, how about that? It just changes the feeling.